There is nothing more frustrating than when I'm
sitting in the car on Victor Harbour Road. I'm just trying to overtake, but there's only one lane.
So let's do something about that.
Working so hard, I ain't trying to go insane. I don't worry about the drama, I just want to make it right.
Last Sunday, my father wanted to play golf at Victor Harbour Golf Club for a competition. So I stepped in and offered to drive him down there. While he played golf, I would drive around Victor Harbour, collecting some footage and writing the script for this very video. I wanted to make another project which drew attention to Victor Harbour Road and how unsuitable it is for the region it serves. Not only is it an unsafe road, but it's also very frustrating for all parties. There's nothing worse than getting stuck behind someone who insists on doing 85 or 90 in a 100 km/h speed zone, and then having no opportunity to overtake them. I've also been a cyclist on this road and I can say it doesn't feel safe at all. So, for all parties, this road needs an upgrade. After driving up here this morning, it's quite clear that one lane in each direction on Victor Harbour Road is not good enough. Overtaking's really tricky and the first section is okay, but once you get to the final hills before actually descending into Victor Harbour, that road becomes very windy, and even the old man who I took to golf today said it made him feel sick. What needs to happen is there needs to be 2 lanes in each direction the whole way. That's as simple as it's going to get. This is what we need for Victor Harbour Road, and getting in a head-on collision is a big risk. But anyway, let's go for a walk to the shops. The Victor Harbour Road of today is not simply a road designed for carrying tourists in cars. In fact, travelling by road is the only way to transport goods in and out of Victor Harbour. Lots of trucks travel on Victor Harbour Road because companies simply don't have any other choice. And when you've got heavy vehicles trying to navigate up steep inclines at a slow speed, you tend to have a lot of cars that want to overtake. Luckily, the steep Wollonga Hill section is duplicated for this exact reason. However, not all steep hills on Victor Harbour Road are duplicated sections or even have their own overtaking lanes, which encourages risky behaviour for all motorists. With no reliable railway link to Victor Harbour, apart from tourist trains operated by Steam Ranger, freight has only one way to get to the Encounter Bay region. Unless it's interstate transport, most likely it's coming in on Victor Harbour Road. Yes, this means your groceries. Every single restaurant you eat at is getting food supplies, all of the construction materials for the new developments, and much, much more. This ice cream that I just bought from Woolies was transported here on Victor Harbour Road on either a HR or a HC freezer truck. Everything on the shelf at that supermarket got here via Victor Harbour Road, the 1-lane road. And that's just one store, one very busy store. Every single business here, everything a business is selling, most of it comes from outside of the Fleurieu Peninsula. So most of it is actually getting trucked in via Victor Harbour Road. In 1884, the broad gauge railway from Adelaide finally connects all the way to Victor Harbour via Mount Barker Junction. Suddenly, the Fleurieu has a true direct steam link to the city. For nearly 90 years, it's the region's main highway. Summer holiday trains packed with families, race specials, and endless wagons of freight rolling up and down the line. The glory years peaked in the 1940s and 50s, but then the roads improved. The last Adelaide to Victor Harbour passenger train departed in 1980, and in 1984 the final grain freight leaves Mount Barker Junction and the line south closes. The region's exploded, but the infrastructure just hasn't kept up. That brings us to today, where the only use of the line is occasional tourist trains, which go very slow and aren't viable for actual travel to and from the city. If you want to go to Victor Harbour, you have to take the road. You can't really take the train. It's just not a viable option for most people, as it's a tourist railway that goes from Mount Barker to Victor Harbour, and it operates very slowly at around 30 km/h. A fast train that gets people there reliably, something that would be viable for commuting to work, for example, would take a lot of cars off of Victor Harbour Road. As we approach the end of this video, I'd like to also acknowledge the danger that it presents to ride on Victor Harbour Road. I've travelled on my bike from Victor Harbour up to Adelaide on Victor Harbour Road, and the shoulder's just very narrow. Considering we have a bike path that goes to Wollonga, there's only really about 40 kilometres that needs a bike path to fully connect Victor Harbour with Adelaide on its own completely separated pathway. Not only would this benefit cyclists, but it would also keep tractors off the main road, making traffic flow much better. Motorists would also benefit greatly from this because they don't have to slow down for cyclists or overtake dangerously. So it's a win-win-win. In conclusion, Victor Harbour Road is a very unsafe, inefficient road that must be the number one priority of the South Australian government to upgrade. The first priority is that the entire length of the road should be upgraded to dual lanes. With this, there should be a bike path to separate slower traffic and allow tractors to have safe passage as well as cyclists. It would upgrade safety and mean that drivers do not get stuck behind cyclists. If demand for transport to the Encounter Bay region continues to increase, it might be wise to install a proper, viable commuter railway to take pressure off of Victor Harbour Road and ensure that the road remains safe and efficient for years to come. Hopefully, in the next 20 years, I will see a duplicated Victor Harbour Road. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy the sun and have some ice cream.
This time's the last chance I'll get before everybody knows my name. Tonight's the last chance I'll get before my